Have you ever been in a situation where someone disrespects you, interrupting you mid-sentence, belittling your ideas, or treating you like you're invisible? It can feel dehumanizing, frustrating, and downright exhausting. These moments can leave you questioning your worth and struggling to maintain your composure. But what if I told you there's a way to handle these situations with grace, control, and inner strength, without losing your cool or sacrificing your self-respect? In today's video, we're diving into 5 powerful Stoic-inspired techniques that can help you deal with disrespect and preserve your dignity. No matter how difficult the interaction, you'll learn how to respond with wisdom, not emotion, and reclaim your power in situations where you might otherwise feel powerless. But before we jump into the strategies, let's clear something up. Stoic philosophy isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending that everything is fine. It's about responding with clarity, integrity, and purpose, rather than being controlled by anger or frustration. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools you need to take back control and handle disrespect in a way that aligns with your core values. If you're ready to learn how to handle disrespect like a true Stoic, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive in. 1. Embrace the silent stare. Let's delve deeper into the power of silence. One of the fascinating aspects of the silent stare is its ability to create a mental and emotional distance between you and the aggressor. When someone is disrespecting you, whether by belittling you, interrupting you, or mocking your ideas, they're looking for a response. The goal of their behavior is often to provoke, to draw you into their emotional chaos. In Stoic philosophy, there's a concept of apatheia, which refers to the state of being free from emotional disturbance. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions, but rather not allowing external forces to dictate your emotional state. When you adopt the silent stare technique, you are embodying apatheia. You show that you are not controlled by the actions of others. You are the one who decides how to respond. This calmness can be unsettling for the person trying to provoke you. They may expect you to argue, defend yourself, or react emotionally. But when you don't engage in their drama, they're left questioning themselves and their own behavior. Another reason why the silent stare is so powerful is that it requires no energy from you, while at the same time, it gives you control over the situation. It communicates self-confidence and inner peace. When people see that you are unaffected by their attempts to drag you into their negativity, they may begin to respect you more, even if they don't immediately show it. There's also a layer of wisdom in the fact that silence often speaks louder than words. Think about it. When someone cuts you off in the middle of a conversation, there's a natural instinct to defend your position, to explain yourself. But what happens when you don't react? The interruption feels less powerful, almost as if you've rendered it insignificant. It's a subtle form of rebellion, not against the person, but against the negative energy they bring into your life. One practical example. I recall a time when I was at a social gathering with a person who always seemed to want to one-up everyone with sarcastic remarks and cutting jokes. One evening, they started mocking something I had said, probably expecting me to get defensive or angry. Instead of engaging, I simply looked at them calmly and waited. The uncomfortable silence lasted a few seconds, longer than either of us anticipated. They quickly looked away, realizing that I wasn't going to give them the reaction they wanted. It was a moment of personal victory, not just for me, but for the philosophy of Stoicism, which teaches that we control our responses, not the actions of others. 2. Setting boundaries with clarity. The second Stoic principle that comes into play when dealing with disrespect is the importance of clear, firm boundaries. The Stoics held that to live virtuously, one must act according to reason and maintain moral integrity. A key component of this is the idea that we should only allow into our lives what aligns with our values and well-being. Setting boundaries is not about being rigid or harsh. Rather, it's about communicating your needs and expectations in a respectful yet assertive manner. People who disrespect you often do so because they believe they can get away with it, either because you haven't set clear boundaries or because you've allowed small transgressions to slide in the past. The Stoic idea of Stoic restraint teaches that, while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control how we allow others to treat us. For example, If you have a colleague who frequently takes credit for your work or makes demeaning comments about your contributions, it's essential to set a clear boundary. Instead of passive-aggressively avoiding them or letting your frustration build up, calmly and assertively address the issue. Say something like, "I noticed that you've taken credit for my work in the last few meetings, and I want to make sure that we acknowledge the contributions of everyone." This response doesn't escalate the situation, but it makes your boundaries clear. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By setting boundaries, you are not reacting to disrespect, but proactively defining how you expect to be treated. You're not allowing the disrespect to control your emotional state. Instead, you are controlling the interaction with clarity and self-respect. A personal story that exemplifies the power of boundaries comes from a situation I once faced in a professional setting. A manager would frequently overstep boundaries, assigning me last-minute tasks without any regard for my schedule. At first, I tried to accommodate their demands, hoping to avoid conflict, but it became clear that this pattern was not going to stop unless I addressed it directly. One day, I calmly told my manager, "I can't take on additional tasks without compromising my current responsibilities. I would need at least a day's notice for new assignments." The shift in tone was immediate. My manager respected my time after that, and we developed a more professional and efficient working relationship. 3. Practicing emotional detachment. Another fundamental concept in Stoicism is the practice of emotional detachment. The Stoics believe that we cannot control external events, only our reactions to them. When someone disrespects you or undermines you, the Stoic approach is not to take it personally or let it affect your inner peace. Instead, you observe the behavior objectively and decide how you want to respond, rather than reacting impulsively. Emotional detachment doesn't mean that you don't feel or acknowledge your emotions. It means that you don't allow them to control your actions. If someone insults you, the initial emotional reaction might be anger or hurt, but you don't have to act on those emotions. By taking a step back and reflecting on the situation, you can choose a response that aligns with your values. For instance, if someone makes a derogatory comment about your work, rather than getting defensive or upset, you can take a deep breath, acknowledge the comment, and then respond with reasoned clarity. You might say, "I appreciate your feedback, but I don't think it's accurate. Let's talk about how we can improve the situation together." This approach is rooted in the Stoic belief that we cannot control what others do, but we have full control over how we react. A powerful example of emotional detachment comes from the life of the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. Despite being the emperor of Rome and dealing with constant political pressure, personal loss, and war, he practiced emotional detachment by focusing on his duties rather than his personal feelings. He would remind himself daily to maintain composure and to react with virtue, not emotion. This practice helped him to lead wisely, even in the face of immense challenges. 4. Responding with rational thought. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of reason. When faced with disrespect or negativity, the Stoics advocate for responding with clear, rational thought rather than reacting impulsively. The ability to step back from the situation and analyze it through a logical lens is a hallmark of Stoic philosophy. If someone insults you or undermines your work, rather than immediately reacting in anger or hurt, take a moment to assess the situation. What is this person's goal? What are their motivations? In many cases, the person who disrespects you is doing so because of their own insecurities or frustrations. Recognizing this can help you detach emotionally from their actions and respond from a place of understanding and wisdom. For example, consider a scenario where a friend criticizes your personal choices or decisions. Instead of feeling offended or defensive, you could pause and think about why they might be reacting this way. Are they projecting their own fears or regrets onto you? By understanding their perspective, you can respond more calmly and thoughtfully, reinforcing your boundaries without engaging in unnecessary conflict. 5. Choosing not to engage in drama. Finally, the Stoic way of handling disrespect often involves choosing not to engage in drama. People who disrespect others often do so because they thrive on conflict, chaos, and attention. They want you to react in a way that keeps the drama going. But as a Stoic, you recognize that engaging in drama is not in line with your values. Instead of getting caught up in their drama, the Stoic response is to remain calm, composed, and, when appropriate, simply walk away. This doesn't mean avoiding confrontation when it's necessary, but it means not allowing yourself to be drawn into a pointless back and forth that serves no constructive purpose. Imagine someone who constantly gossips about others in your workplace. Instead of getting involved in the gossip or defending others, you might simply choose to disengage. You might excuse yourself from the conversation or change the subject to something neutral. By doing so, you not only protect your own peace, but also prevent the negativity from escalating. Handling disrespect without losing your composure is more than just a skill. It's a mindset that can be developed over time through consistent practice and self-awareness. By incorporating Stoic techniques like the silent stare, setting firm boundaries, embracing emotional detachment, and responding with virtue, you can turn even the most challenging interactions into opportunities for growth. Remember, the way others treat you doesn't define you. What matters most is how you choose to respond. Stoic philosophy teaches us that our true freedom lies in our ability to control our reactions. And in that control, we find power, peace, and dignity.